Hi, everyone. It's Bobbie LaPorte back again with this week's Coronavirus Curveball Tip of the Week. A couple of weeks ago, I posed 3 questions I thought might be helpful to you as you start to plan for what's next. And one of those questions was, what have you learned about yourself as a leader? And over the last few weeks, many of you have said that you've become more empathetic, that you understand what it means to be an empathetic leader. So I thought we'd take a little bit of a closer look at what does it mean to be empathetic. So in terms of a distinction, empathy means that you're feeling with someone, and that fuels connection. Sympathy, on the other hand, means that you're feeling for someone, and that more likely drives disconnection. So being empathetic means that you're fueling connection. And I know that many of you have expressed being empathetic by scheduling one-on-one check-ins with the people that work for you, not to talk about work, but just to ask them how they're doing, just to check and see how they're feeling, really trying to understand what's going on in their lives, sort of valuing their differences in their personal situation and perspective on what we're all going through, which is great. I think that's super helpful. One other thing I would suggest that you could do to demonstrate empathy is to really listen to the people that you're talking to. And I mean, really listen. So listening to make sure they feel like they're being heard. Listening for understanding. Not listening to respond, to defend a position, or just to get back to what you were doing before. And I know that's really hard. Trust me, I find myself doing it as well when we're in this distracted state. And I know you've probably also said, well, I understand how to do listening, active listening, really focusing, mirroring back the person's facial expressions and body language, and all of that is great. But it's very difficult to do in the state that we're in where there's so much anxiety and uncertainty. And in this situation, our threat response, so the state of anxiety we're in, how much we feel personally threatened by what's happening in our environment and in our country, that can really shut down our ability to connect. And that stress definitely comes through to others when you're speaking to them. So here's my tip. We know from science, from neuroscience, that we can increase our ability to focus by calming our brain and trying to put ourselves in more of a low threat state. So what do I mean by that? If it's possible and you're getting ready for a conversation, if you can take 10 or 15 seconds and just take a deep breath, just try and relax, try and focus on something positive. Call it a mindfulness moment, whatever you want to call it, but any way that you can create a state where your brain is calmer, where you're more likely to be able to listen, really listen, and connect with that person. And that has the added benefit of also calming their nervous system and of them feeling truly heard. So that's my tip, using a few mindful moments to take yourself from a high threat state, which is where most of us are living right now, to a lower threat state will really help to create that ability for you to truly listen and make sure the other person feels heard. So that's it. I'll see you again next Monday. And remember, leadership makes the greatest difference when the world around us is uncertain. All right, take care of yourself.